It doesn't always take much to make me happy. You know what made me happy today? Just on a whim. Just on a wild hair, I decided to open up my little pen thing. And look, I'm using my pen of the day. One of my all-time favorites, a Pilot Vanishing Point. It's got a broad nib and it writes incredibly smooth. And I got a really cool peacock blue ink from Papier Plume in it. But just on a wild hair, I decided, let me think about this one. This is my first ever fountain pen. I was a fountain pen virgin when I bought this. I had never used one of my own prior to purchase of this. I worked with a guy who had fountain pens who enjoyed them, so I got his pen and I tried it a little bit at work. I said, I like that. I'm going to go get my own, and so I went out and I promptly bought one, either at an office supply store or at a department store such as your local Walmart. And so it took cartridges, so I used these every so often. This takes an international standard cartridge. Of course, I didn't know the difference then. All I knew is I just wanted cartridges to put into my sweet little fountain pen, and I used it, and I used up all my cartridges, and when I went to go back to buy more, I couldn't find any more cartridges, so I eventually just chucked it into a shoebox, and there it sat for 2 decades. 20 plus years just laying around. So I got the pen out a little while ago within the past year, and I cleaned it up and it gave me a hassle. Cleaned it up and it still wasn't working real well. So what I had done finally is I gave it a really good cleaning, a really good flushing, and ultrasonic cleaning, and just finally put it in my pen drawer. So I just said, well, let me pull it out and let me play with it. Let me try a brand new converter in it. And so I chose one of my better converters that I got for international standard, plopped it in, filled it up with some Thornton's blue ink, which I got. I hadn't really filled and used much yet since I got the bottle. Figured I'd give it a shot. And doggone it, look at this. It's my sweet little pen come back to life. And it is writing very smoothly, just as smoothly as I remember fountain pens writing. And so it's a cheap, no-name pen. No markings on it whatsoever. Even with a loop, you look at the nib, you look at the side, there's no name on it whatsoever. Nothing on the clip. No markings to brand this pen whatsoever. And it was fairly inexpensive. Like I said, when I bought it, I don't remember how much. Probably under $7. But it's one of my favorites. And the reason it's one of my favorites is because it was my first. You never forget your first, do you? So after this, I bought a Waterman Phileas for about $40 a little later on, in a nice little gift box that had cartridges and a converter and a bottle of ink. And that's what got me hooked on the idea of fountain pens on a continuous basis. So it all got started off with this one today, and I've got it up and running again. And it's writing very well and very smoothly, and I kid you not, this cheap pen writes as smoothly as some of my upper end pens that I have in my drawer. So you can't complain when you get an old friend, you got your old buddy working again, and well, I guess it's a she, because she's mine. But, things like that make me happy.